Now, that's the kind of physical basketball a hockey guy like me likes. I mean,
not physical, huh?
Well, not a lot of fouls being called.
Right.
So it was good stuff. Thanks for joining us. 6 a.m., everyone. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. As you start this Tuesday morning, I know a lot of us have outer space on the mind, but let's talk about the conditions here on Earth.
I mean, bring us back to Earth.
Keep space on the mind.
Right, yes.
But we can still talk about what's going on.
Maybe someday you too can go to the moon.
There are only 4 people who don't need my forecast today, and they are coming back from
they're busy.
lunar orbit right now.
They need your Friday forecast.
Exactly. They do need the Friday forecast.
In San Diego,
true.
specifically.
Yeah.
So by the weekend, we are watching for a pretty solid opportunity at rain. It does seem like that will start up on Saturday with some thunderstorm potential mixed in there. But between now and Friday, we do seem dry out there. Early morning hours reserved for overcast skies, fog that could even lead to some patchy drizzle. Then as each afternoon comes around, we get the sunshine, but the afternoon sunshine will not be the theme as much by this weekend. Visibility not looking too bad, but there are still clouds out there, so overcast skies, but not as low down to the ground on that cloud cover, which is great. You can see what that looks like on satellite radar. Plenty of activity just off of the coast that's kind of starting to spread toward our inland valleys a little bit more. Coming up, we are going to talk a little bit more about that chance for rain as the weekend arrives. A lot of sights set on Saturday right now, where it does seem like our single best day for rain. So we'll let you know what that looks like as we get into your upcoming forecast. Back to you.
All right, Evan, thank you very much for that.
One endorsement causes a major shakeup in the crowded race for governor. 4 weeks now, some California Democrats have been worried that November's ballot could see 2 Republicans at the top of the governor's ballot. But after a presidential endorsement, some analysts say that possibility could be now off the table. News 8's Richard Allen explains.
This is not just any other state. California means to America what America means to the world.
Steve Hilton, a British-born former Fox News contributor who became a U.S. citizen in 2021, has now secured the backing of President Trump, who wrote on Truth Social that he is a truly fine man, one who has watched as this once great state has gone to hell, adding, quote, "Steve can turn it around before it's too late, and as president, I will help him to do so."
The question now is going to be whether or not Donald Trump's endorsement will consolidate support around Steve Hilton.
News 8 political analyst Wendy Patrick says this endorsement likely secures at least one Republican candidate for governor in the November election.
Many people might have thought would have 2 in the general election. Now that President Trump has weighed in, even if GOP voters coalesce around Steve Hilton given the endorsement, we're still going to at the very least have one candidate come November.
While Democratic voters outnumber Republican voters here in California by about 2 to 1, polls show that the 2 Republican candidates, Steve Hilton and Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, are polling at the top of the primary race. That's largely because of a crowded Democratic side with no clear frontrunner. Right now, Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, and Tom Steyer are all polling in the double digits. Trump's endorsement, though, could drive Republican support toward Hilton and away from Bianco, paving the way for a Democratic challenger in November.
This is a very interesting development, and here's why. Donald Trump is not particularly popular amongst the general election electorate in California. He's popular amongst Republicans, but then Hilton has to pivot to the middle, and in pivoting to the middle, does he get that middle-of-the-road California voter?
Patrick also questions whether Hilton's messaging on some of the biggest issues in California, from cost of living to affordable housing to homelessness, might also make a difference.
Those are some of the issues that might complicate whether President Trump's endorsement of Steve Hilton is going to automatically coalesce support, or whether there might also be Democrats that might vote Republican simply because they agree with some of the same kitchen table issues.
News 8's Richard Allen reporting there. A recent Emerson College poll showed that a full 25% of likely voters are still undecided in this primary race. Mail-in ballots will start going out next month, and the primary is set for June 2nd. Well, it is a loophole that could allow convicted killers to get out of prison early. And this morning, San Diego's DA is calling on the state to take action.
Right now, state law allows people like Andy Williams to ask for resentencing. He killed 2 and shot 13 others at Santana High School in 2001. News 8 story Apodaca explaining how District Attorney Summer Stephan wants the Sacramento to prevent that.
That's exactly right. And Stefan is in Sacramento this morning and is set to testify at 8:30. But this bill would block the resentencing for people who committed crimes under the age of 18 for serious cases like mass shootings, multiple murders, or crimes in places of worship or schools. In the case of Andy Williams, he was just 15 years old when he opened fire at Santana School back in 2001. Now at 40, he has spent nearly 25 years in prison. But last month, the judge vacated his 50 years to life sentence and prosecutors appealed. DA Steffens says that Assembly Bill 1959 would block Williams' case from being sent to juvenile court, where he would be immediately released from prison without parole. The bill would also expand when younger teens can be tried as adults for major crimes. Williams is currently still behind bars with a status hearing set for June. And again, Stefan is expected to testify at 8:30 this morning in Sacramento. She is just really hoping that they can come to an agreement on the law and take into account the rights of defendants, the rights of victims, and the rights of everyone to have public safety. Reporting from San Diego this morning, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Turning now to developments out of Iran that are coming in this morning. The clock now ticking towards President Donald Trump's 5 p.m. deadline for a deal with Iranian leaders. President Trump threatening attacks on the country's power plants and bridges. The president brushed off questions of whether attacks on civilian infrastructure would constitute a war crime, instead insisting it's what the people of Iran want.
They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing.
Israel has already begun attacks on Iran's oil and gas facilities with strikes on the Pars gas field yesterday. Israeli officials are now warning Iranians to avoid using trains until later tonight. Meanwhile, Iranian officials are urging young people to form human chains around the country's power plants to protect them. Overnight, let's show you what happened with gas prices here, holding steady at $5.96 for a gallon of regular. Higher grades, though, continue to tick up, both mid-grade and premium, well above $6, as you see. Diesel is well on its way to $8 a gallon, jumping 6 cents overnight, now to an average $7.70 per gallon. That's here in San Diego County. A push to expand cheaper fuel options just cleared a hurdle in the state capitol, passing in the Assembly Transportation Committee. AB 2046, as it's called, would allow EPA-approved conversion kits so more drivers can use the E85 gas. E85 is made mostly from ethanol and is significantly cheaper than most other types of gas, selling for an average of $3.25. That's per gallon around the country this morning. However, like diesel, it can damage your car if it's not built to process E85. You can't just do it in any car. Conversion kits do exist out there, but they are banned in California right now. So the measure to legalize those kits now headed to the Appropriations Committee.
Let's take a live look aboard the Artemis 2 after Monday's history-making trip around the moon. The crew became the first humans to see parts of the far side of the moon with the naked eye. So there's a live look at what's going on right now. A lot of movement happening there. The 4 astronauts traveled a record-breaking 252,000 miles from Earth and lost contact with NASA as they passed behind the moon. This was the view from aboard the capsule yesterday as the Earth set behind the moon, and the screen goes blue for a bit when radio connection is lost. After about 40 minutes, Artemis 2 emerged from the other side of the moon. Reestablishing communications with NASA, mission specialist Christina Cook shared this message.
We will explore, we will build ships, we will visit again. We will construct science outposts, we will drive rovers, we will do radio astronomy. We will found companies, we will bolster industry, we will inspire. But ultimately, we will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other.
Inspiring message there, right? Artemis 2 then used the moon's gravity to slingshot back to Earth where it's expected to land a few dozen miles off our coast here in San Diego on Friday night. The USS Murtha.
Yes,
right?
at 5:07
home ported
p.m.
here.
The splashdown expected at that time. So it's incredible that they know everything to the minute.
Right.
They can count on the moon's gravity to slingshot them back. Just think about that, how awesome that is in this image right here. So,
Oh, look at that.
ooh, and I love
Beautiful
hearing
view.
everything they have to say about their views of our universe.
Absolutely. To
That's
see
all
a
they're
part of the
doing.
world you've never seen.
Yeah.
Yesterday was all just observation time,
Right.
looking out the window, kind of literally rotating and taking shifts, looking out the window
So
and
cool.
observing what they saw. Just kind of shows you that kind of classic way of understanding the world around us is still at play. We have so much technology at our fingertips, but sometimes just looking out the window and observing can tell you a lot. Doing so right now, overcast skies out by our coastline. As we make our way inland, we'll see the sun as it comes up in about 20 minutes or so. Satellite radar right now is a lot less active than it was yesterday. Those clouds were stretching all the way across our county, really all through the region, but now it's mainly a coastal issue. Here's a live look outside toward west, so we're looking toward the water. Sunrise again, 6:29, sunset at 7:13 p.m. today. By the time we get past sunrise, we'll start to see those clouds pull their way back. We'll transition to sunshine. Temperatures will be on the warmer side of average this afternoon, and we will be seeing that sunshine last for pretty much the entirety of the day. Maybe as the evening comes around, we'll start to see some of those evening marine layer clouds surge back onshore. Today through Friday stays relatively dry. We've got that opportunity for some mist and drizzle as we have for almost every morning over the past couple days. But as we get toward the weekend, we will start to see that transition as a trough of low pressure arrives along the west coast. That trough is going to bring our chance for rain up to 82% on Friday. Starts to slide by Sunday and Monday, but it does seem like in this 2-day period, we will still have some lingering showers. Now, it's also going to bring a big drop in temperatures. So we'll go from the 80s and upper 70s back down to the 60s briefly Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's a chance for some thunderstorms, for gusty west winds in the process, and for widespread precipitation. But right now it is a little too far out still for us to be able to pin down any specifics in terms of exactly how much rain we could see. Those numbers start to come into agreement as we get toward Wednesday, Thursday. That's going to be a better time frame for us to be able to say with a little more certainty what this weekend could look like. Let's check in on traffic. So far, it has been very quiet out there. We have not seen any major crashes or collisions to start off the day. We had one stalled vehicle that was up in the Rancho Bernardo area, but that has now since cleared. So we are back to green on the 15 northbound right before Camino del Norte. When we look at our live conditions outside, this is what we have on the southbound 15 right at Valley Parkway. Quiet start to the morning, volume starting to pick up. So just make sure you're taking caution out there. A couple spots out toward Ramona might be seeing a little bit of morning fog. So that's something to watch for as we kick off the day. But aside from that, shouldn't have much trouble as you head out the door. Let's take a look at your border wait times as well as we start off the morning. 110-minute wait right now at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Going to take you a little bit longer as you make your way across the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. That will take you about an hour, about 150 minutes, so about 2.5 hours for the Otay Mesa Port. Back to you.
Science community of which you are absolutely a part.
Still ahead here, a physical night on the court as the Michigan Wolverines battle their way to the national championship.
Plus, what on earth was this? The cause of last night's confusion just ahead. And coming up this morning at 9 a.m. on the CBS 8 app, join Jack Hall and Nanette Rampur, or me, actually, as I'll be
You're doing
today.
it, yeah.
We'll be discussing, again, several big hot button issues. Be sure to watch CBS 8 app. Stream right now for free.
Let us know when you